Smokin Tobacco's coverage of the 2024 Premium Cigar Association Trade Show is brought to you by Drew Estate, the rebirth of cigars.
What's going on, everybody? Matt Tabacco from SmokinTobacco.com. I'm here at PCA 2024 with coverage brought to you by Drew Estate. I'm here at the ST Dupont booth with none other than a very good friend of mine, Mr. Les Mann. Les, how are you?
I'm great. I'm glad you're here. I always look forward to our interviews and showing you what we have at PCA.
You know, every time we come to this booth, there's something, what's the right word? Unique is one. Inspirational is another. Maybe crazy. Let's just be fair. Crazy.
Wow factor.
Wow. There's a lot.
Or you get wild, but you expect that from ST Dupont.
Shake up the legacy.
Shake up the
Come on.
I love it, man.
Come on. This is my job.
Awesome.
And as you guys know, every week on the Smokin Tobacco Show in the Spare Note series, Les, who do we trust to cut and light our cigars on those shows?
We trust the luxury brand ST Dupont.
That's right. That's right. We trust our friends at ST Dupont.
And by the way, we've picked you as our proud sponsor of your podcast is ST Dupont.
Yeah, I know. And you guys are the man. You guys are awesome. You guys are good to us. You guys have a great product, and I wouldn't trust anybody else. I mean, you get quality.
Thank you.
You get what you pay for.
Thank you.
You know,
on both ends. Hold on. Your podcasts are quality too.
Well, we try. You know, we it's not easy.
I have to try harder to keep up with you.
Well, yeah, it's not easy. Both of us have a difficult job, so you know, it's. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You're always so good to us.
You're welcome.
Now at the PCA show here, once again, you have some crazy shit. If I don't mind saying myself. Yes. I don't know where we want to begin, but I got to say this first and foremost. I think we're going to start here and work our way up, because I want to end there because it's insane.
There is there.
And I think there's a lot.
Well, hold on. After there, we have something else too.
There's a lot. There's a lot here.
Yes.
Let's start with Graffiti.
Okay, great.
One of the new collections that's here. Now, that we only have one of the pieces here. There's multiple pieces, but we have the Biggie Lighter, which is one of the pieces in the Graffiti collection, which is beautiful, very colorful, very vibrant. Now, the Biggie Lighter, these came out at PCA last year.
They were introduced last year on the Smokin Tobacco podcast.
That's right, they were. You heard it here. You heard it from Les. They are fantastic. The flat flame lighters, if you don't mind, on a small tangent, the Slimmy, the Biggie lighters, even the Slim 7, which has already been in the collection for some time now, that flat flame lighter, it is one of those products that, you know, and again, I know we talk about ST Dupont on the show, but outside of that, seriously, I talk to retailers, I talk to other consumers, people really love that flat flame lighter. They love the concept of it, they love the way it lights, they like the way it performs. Some people just, everyone uses a jet lighter, I think, so to speak, but that flat flame is gaining a lot of popularity, and I just, you know, I have a lot of people I hear and talk to, they're buying more of them, and they're transitioning over to that, and even, you know, Carlito Fuente, you know, once said, you know, it's the closest thing to a soft flame lighter in a jet
flame lighter.
Yeah, that you can get, and I think that's very true.
Right, but even if you didn't agree with them, you would agree with them.
Oh yeah, I know.
So I would say let's talk really quickly, because we have a lot to do here.
We do.
That the Slim 7 lighter really set the stage for the Twiggy, the Biggie, and the Slimmy.
Yeah.
The popularity of it, right? The Slimmy and the Twiggy has 3 jet flames. The Biggie has 5 jet flames.
Right.
So without the success of the Slim 7, there never would have been these.
Right.
So obviously our consumers, our retailers have had great success with the Slim 7. Now we introduced it into the Biggie. That being said, what we've also done is we've taken the new introductions using the Slimmies and the Biggies as well. So that also gives to show you kind of where we're at with everything, why we do what we do, and the logic and the reasoning behind what we do.
Yeah, and you know, it's when it comes to ST Dupont, it's not just the lighter, and it's not just the pattern. It's a whole wave, intricate, moving pieces that all have to go together.
No doubt.
And that's what makes the product so quality, is that every little piece of that is perfect.
No doubt. I was just thinking this, and I think this does make sense to me, okay? On your podcast, and you do a lot of for us too, but you talk a lot about cigars. And what I do know about cigars is very easy. It's binder, filler, and wrapper.
Yep.
Okay? If you think about the Line 2 lighter, the Line 2 lighter is a binder, filler, and wrapper. It starts with brass. And then there's Guy Luché engraving. And then there's lacquering. So SD Dupont does have a binder, a filler, and a wrapper.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense. I hope it makes sense. It makes sense to me.
I think it makes sense.
So now, by the way, on your podcast, you can talk about the binder, filler, wrapper, and not talk about what the cigars are. You can talk about SD Dupont.
That's true. See,
how was that? Was that good?
It was great. Every time I get with this guy, the ideas, they flow. And
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to keep up with you.
A lot of good ones happen.
Hey, you want to get into this?
Let's get into this. Yeah.
Okay. So graffiti. Unbelievably cool, very colorful, a lot of pop to this. We, as you can see, the graffiti tower is right over there, and there's people around the graffiti tower. Like everything else at this trade show, but really more important to us, it's not everyone coming up to my team and saying what's new. They kind of look at it and kind of expect it and understand what's going on, right?
Right.
So this graffiti collection, of course it involves writing instruments, of course it involves a Line 2 lighter, of course it involves a cutter, of course it involves a cigar case, and of course it involves the biggie and an ashtray. So what happens here is the most impactful way to go through this thing at retail is show the collection. And as you can see in every tower that we don't have the biggies together, the Line 2s, we have the collection. Because what happens is the person loves this, right? I guarantee you when they love this biggie lighter, they're gonna want the cutter. I guarantee you when they love this so much, they're gonna want the ashtray as well. And the writing instrument and so on.
Yep.
So it's so important to have collections, not just one SKU of one kind of finish.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, and even in the writing instrument, we talk about cigars, cutters and lighters and stuff. I know that the writing instruments is not really a cigar thing, but I don't think that it's the right thing to do to leave that out of the conversation, because those writing instruments is just as important and as awesome.
And don't forget,
works of art.
The writing instrument is part of the Dupont brand, of the Dupont portfolio.
Yeah.
And and it's also a binder, filler, and a wrapper.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and that's what they would expect.
Right.
So there's no reason in the world that our writing instruments, which in the industry are here, like our lighters are, like our cutters are, like our humidors are, like our cases are, all that stuff.
Right.
The consumer expects perfection from SD Dupont, no matter what product that they buy.
Right.
I love this.
It's beautiful. It's so vibrant. And, so in the graffiti collection, it's very colorful, very pop. And then you move on to the Casablanca mosaic, which is also very colorful. And we have the ashtray here, which I know you're going to pull up. Look
Check
at that.
this
That's
out.
another one, too. Like, look at this.
So you look at this and you're like, this is an actual work of art.
I don't even want to put an ash in there. It's too nice.
I don't even want to hold it thinking I'm going to drop the thing, right? So what is Casablanca? Okay, Casablanca started in Paris. It's a ready-to-wear, high-end fashion brand.
Okay.
And so we have a partnership with Casablanca Paris, SD Dupont Paris.
Yep.
So all fashion brands, all ready-to-wear brands seasonally have different themes, different patterns, things like that. So this is called Mosaic. And what this has, and you could probably tell me just as well, is there's a Line 2 lighter, there's a biggie lighter, there's a slimmy lighter, there's a cutter, there's a humidor, and of course there's writing instruments.
Three writing instruments.
This is, yes, 3 writing instruments. Ball pen, rollerball, fountain pen.
Yep.
So this again is totally cool. Totally someone looking at this, when you look at our pieces, I think a lot of people stare and I said, what are you looking at? And they said, how did they do that? That's what separates SD Dupont from everything else.
Yes.
Is how did they do that? And then they expect that to happen here.
I think that you guys have set a standard for quality, innovation, craftsmanship. I could go on, but every time you introduce a new product, I think that bar continues to go higher and higher and higher.
Yes.
And it's something that I've watched since I've started covering the trade shows and everything in the industry. I've watched that specifically with you guys. Every year, that bar goes a little bit higher, and now here we are. I thought last year you guys had an insane. You doing all the F1 stuff.
Yeah.
Now this year you have something that we're going to talk about next, which I know a lot of people are going to be able to.
I know Nicole loves it.
Nicole loves this. This is a major highlight for Nicole on a personal note. You guys have partnered with Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And you have some Game of Thrones pieces here at the show that are mind-blowing.
Yes.
Mind-blowing.
Game of Thrones is the #1 viewed miniseries ever on HBO. Game of Thrones, the S.C. Dupont collection, is the #1 viewed new introduction collection at PCA 2024.
Wow.
The amount of excitement, the amount of people coming in to see this whole Game of Thrones, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And what's really fun is, full disclosure, I haven't watched it religiously every series, but the people that come in there that tell us, oh yeah, that's that house, that's fire, that's ice, that's all that stuff, and they look at it and they say, yes, exactly, that tastes, smells, feels, acts like Game of Thrones.
So what you're saying is you guys got it right.
What I'm saying is that they got it right, yeah. And you know what? I want to go back again on the quality and everything else. We are the gold standard. It's kind of easy when you're the bronze standard and you can go up. What the challenge is being the gold standard and keeping it.
And staying on top.
You got it. You got it. So let's go, okay?
You got a line 2 here?
This is a line 2. So those of you that know Game of Thrones, as a lot of it is about fire and ice.
Yep.
Okay? This is the fire collection, and it's got the dragon, and it's got the throne, and on the ice collection, it's the Arctic blue, let's just call it color, the same way. Now this one has a cigar case, an ashtray, of course a writing instrument, a line 2 lighter, and it's breathtaking. We also have our Twiggy and our Biggie in the noble houses.
Okay.
And the noble houses are 3 different series, 3 different colors.
Yep.
So it's almost like, people have the houses that they like, and that's what they're going to get.
Yep.
So, oh, I like that house, I want that lighter. I like that house, I kind of want that lighter. The beauty of this collection is that what we call our premium to our prestige to our whole creation. So this collection evolves and is available on all 3 levels of SD Dupont. And what I have here, I'm a little more nervous on this than the ashtray.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
Whoa, what is that?
This is the whole creation. And this, basically, I don't think you need to see any of the mini-series. All you have to do is look at this. Because this
That's a hell of a
has all of everything that you would ever want to have, I'm afraid, on this thing here to carry. So leave it to SD Dupont to make sure that they cover every area of what Game of Thrones fans would expect.
I picked that up.
I'm going to put this down.
Yeah, go ahead. You don't want to break that. Is that one of one right now? Have others been made yet?
Yeah. No. This is the only Game of Thrones Hope Creation lighter in existence.
Yes, we don't want to lose that.
No, I don't want to touch it anymore. I'm off that.
Yeah. It's nice. So at its core, though, that's a Legrand.
Yeah. So I'm afraid to open this.
Yeah, that's a Legrand.
Yes.
Look at that.
It's
I don't think it's filled.
Yes. No, I don't want to touch it. Hey, let somebody else touch it, drop it. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for it. You'll be losing your checks for the next couple of months.
No. I'll be on a short Southwest flight back to Rhode Island.
Yeah, you will.
No, a long flight. It'll probably be, No, I'm not doing it. It'll be the red eye.
So Les, I know that we were going to stop here and take a break for a second, but I know that you wanted to to talk with Alan Cravette from ST Dupont after this. So why don't we let you?
I got one more thing.
Oh, you have one more thing.
I always have one more thing.
Oh, okay.
And you were there. So the first day of the show, Saturday at 4 o'clock.
Oh yes, I forgot about this. Yes,
you were there.
I know, I was there.
By the way,
it was a crazy
Nicole
day.
was there, Mitch was there.
We were all there.
And they would have known about it, and you're there, and you forgot about it.
I'm too busy thinking about you right
Where's
now.
Mitch?
I'm not thinking
you
about
want to take the mic?
Not today.
Mitchell's not doing mic duty today.
Okay.
But no, yesterday.
I know.
Yesterday was a special
Where were
day.
you at yesterday at 4 o'clock?
I was at the Padron booth.
Yes, you were.
Yes, I was. I was right up front.
So, we are honored to be selected through with George Padron and his family, their 60th anniversary collaboration with their cigar with ST Dupont.
Fantastic collection.
And
we got to see it already.
And
it's beautiful.
And did you like it?
I did.
Did you love it?
Why wouldn't I love it? Are you kidding me? It's Padron and DuPont.
Yeah.
I mean,
we had
goes together like peanut butter and jelly.
we had a I would say 150, maybe 200 people in the Padron family booth.
Yep. Yeah, it was packed.
We had Alan Cravette speak. We had George Padron speak, and George was kind enough to have me speak. The collection, and I'm not gonna, it will be out this fall with the cigar, but like everything else we do, expect the Line 2 lighter, the Legrand, the cutter.
Ashtray, right?
Expect a haute creation piece.
Yes.
And by the way, the people that were there, that's why you come to PCA, right?
Yeah.
Because by the way, after tomorrow, you're not going to see that until we launch.
Right.
And the reception was everything that I expected, and it was a privilege to have ST Dupont partnership with Padron on such a powerful, emotional, heartfelt presentation for our customers and media.
You guys did a great job with that launch. I think the products themselves were fantastic. I mean, Padron's one of those brands, right? They get a lot of weight. I mean, that's a brand that's been around a long time, that has a huge following. They have a certain standard themselves, and to see ST Dupont.
So, you talk about the gold standard?
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, they're up there. I mean, they're not at the bottom, and to have an ST Dupont collection with them to celebrate their 60th anniversary. I mean, it's probably one of the biggest highlights of this entire trade show. I mean, it really is. I mean, between their 60th cigar itself.
Without the 60th cigar,
it doesn't exist.
It all goes hand in hand.
So you have their actual 60th release, then you have the DuPont collection go along with it. I mean, that is probably in the top 3 things, if not the top thing from this trade show this year. I mean,
3?
I mean, come on, it's at the top.
Okay.
It's like I said, it's not top 3. It is the number 1 thing. I mean, it's one of the biggest things.
I would say, at night. After dinner, we talk to people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know.
And that's what everybody's talking about, too.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of hubbub about that around the bar at night.
Yes.
A lot of people. Did you see the ST Dupont thing with Padron? Oh, have you seen Padron's 60th? I mean, it really is. It's fantastic. I can't say enough about it. I mean, it's Padron and Dupont. I mean, come on. So, but anyway, it's been a crazy year for you guys. I mean, you continue to raise the bar. All these product launches, all these pieces, they're beautiful. The collaborations.
And by the way, this is only for the first 6 months.
Oh, I know. You got more.
We got more coming.
We
got more. So either you're
coming
to Warwick or I'm going to Nashua.
Well, I mean,
we got to figure that out.
They're not far from each other, so we can figure that out. But yeah, that's. Thank you for sharing all this with me.
Oh, my pleasure.
And going through this.
My pleasure.
I know we want to stop and take a break here.
Yes.
And then I know Alan wanted to.
Yes.
talk
You guys want to come on? Let me go get him out of the booth here, and that would be great.
All right, sounds good. We'll be back in a second. What's going on, everybody? So we are still at the ST Dupont booth. I'm here with Alan Cravette from SD Dupont. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very glad to be with you today.
Yeah, it's really exciting to talk to you. I was just with Les Mann. We were talking about all of the new products that Dupont has at the show this year. The Graffiti collection, the Casablanca collection, the Game of Thrones collection, which is amazing. And once again, as we talked about, SD Dupont, the quality of the products that you guys make, and the bar that you continue to raise every year. So I don't know how you do it. You keep that gold status every year. You keep outdoing yourselves. But no, I wanted to talk to you kind of more about the core of the brand, the history of the brand, the legacy of the brand, and just what makes SD Dupont so special.
Well, actually, we are really, a heritage brand. I mean, we celebrated our 150th anniversary last year.
Yes.
So now we are 151 years, created in 1872 by Mr. Dupont.
Yep.
In a little, he had his shop in Paris, but the workshop was in his village named Faverges. It's in the French mountains, in the Alpes mountains, and he had this little workshop. And initially, he was doing travel cases and trunks, for the celebrities. I mean, the Emperor Napoleon III and the Empress. But what was special is that those cases were bespoke cases coming with bespoke accessories. So it was not like an empty trunk like Vuitton. It was like a travel case or a trunk with, if you wanted to have a special brush, or if you wanted to have a special flask for your perfume or your whiskey, and that's why he also made later, at the beginning of the 20th century, some gold lighters for some special clients. So that's where we started actually to do also this type of accessories, the lighter first and then the pen. But what is special about Dupont is that it's all, as you know, handmade in France. Mm-hmm. And still today we have the factory, or I should say more the workshop, because it's getting more in the same place, in the same village.
Yeah. And
we have now 130 people manufacturing by hand. So for example, to do just one lighter, like the standard Z Dupont Line 2 or Le Grand, the famous sound and
ping.
The ping.
It's beautiful.
Made by hand. We really start from the metal. We cut it. Then we make the whole polishing, the metal work we call guilloche, with various shapes and forms. Sometimes we even add lacquer on it, so we can have some really nice color. And typically, to make one lighter like this takes you about 60 to 70 hours. That 80 or 100 spare pieces, and it's all handmade. So they apply the lacquer by hand, they make the whole decoration by hand, and that's why, to your question, we really have super high quality, and we don't compromise on that. The capacity is about maybe 40,000 of these pieces every year, and we don't make any more. So
right.
That's why we make sometimes limited editions, and we love it. The small is beautiful idea. We like to make it for connoisseurs, and we keep the rarity of the product.
Yeah, I know that every, especially like the Line 2, for example, it always starts from a block of brass, if I remember correctly.
Exactly.
And then you kind of that's like the foundation, and then you just kind of build into it from there. And I knew it was handmade, but so it's like 60 to 70 hours. Is that what you said?
Exactly, because
you're
right.
Time.
You start with the brass, then you have to really make the decoration on it. Then you add the precious. So either we finish it with white gold, yellow gold, palladium, etc. And then sometimes you add the lacquer on it, and then. You see what beautiful. Line 2, with a black lacquer.
Yes.
Perfect. And I love it when they are a little bit worn, and because they age extremely well.
Yeah, they do.
And you also have the amazing
ping.
And I really started, I like to tell the anecdote because frankly, I was happily working before. I was CEO of Givenchy, working for Mr. Arnault, and I built, the perfume cosmetics branch, working with a fashion group. But my first luxury object was when I graduated from my MBA. My dad gifted me a Dupont lighter, and it was for me wow. The first luxury, I always had it in my pocket. So when later I heard that Dupont was looking for a CEO, I immediately volunteered, and I've been there almost 17 years.
Wow.
And I still have, of course, the lighter my father gifted me, and his lighter, because he passed away quite a few years back.
Yeah.
But for me, it's a legacy which you can have for 100 years, and it's going to be as well functioning in 100 years than today.
It's funny. I was talking to one of the people at Dupont here in the booth, and he was asking me about my lighter, and he's like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure." And he goes, "How do you feel about it being worn?" And I said, "Well, I love to use this lighter. I know some people they use their Dupont on a special occasion. Maybe they collect them. I like to use mine every day. I love this. I love this lighter so much, and it's a little worn, but that comes with it. And he said, oh, it's funny because a lot of people, they're luxury pieces, they're beautiful pieces, but a lot of people actually like that they're worn because it tells the story
exactly
of the Dupont lighter. And I said, something, you're right. And now I love the fact that mine's worn.
No, I'm exactly like you, but it's interesting because culturally it depends. I mean, in Japan, for example, they really want to have it perfect.
Right.
So sometimes they even bring it back to us saying, can you, and we can, of course, we send it back to the workshop, they repolish it, they make the lacquer perfect. But me, I much prefer, my father's lighter or my original lighter with all of the little marks, which, from my pockets, it reminds me some, good times when I was having a nice cigar with some friends or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the way I like it.
Yeah, it tells the story of the journey of you and that lighter together. Yeah, and I think you're right. That's beautiful. I mean, you're talking about a legacy piece that you pass down to someone too, and it becomes sentimental. And I think that's also what makes it so special. It's not just a lighter. It's not just an accessory. It's a work of art, and it's something that you can share with someone else.
And you're so right, because in fact I go of course to many cigar lounges in France and around the world, and sometimes with colleagues or friends or customers, and sometimes I see some people enjoying a beautiful cigar, and then they have a totally stupid big lighter or whatever. I say, hey, I mean, it's as you were saying, it's a whole experience for connoisseurs. So you're having a good time, a fantastic cigar, a great spirit, and then the thing which goes with it should be a great accessory.
Yeah.
It's a luxury in the end.
Yeah.
So you should also have the accessory matching with the rest of your experience.
Yeah.
And that's why we always try to have something which really will make the moment more special, more memorable.
Yeah, and you guys do such a great job at it too. I mean, over the years I've watched the products that have come through this booth, and you look at it and you just go like, it's mind-boggling to think of someone just working on this and creating this and building this beautiful piece of art and you're just like, wow, it's so impressive. It really is. It's crazy to me.
and that's why actually you're right in talking about piece of art. I mean, we make a few of these collaborations, with we lucky in decades ago, for example, Picasso, the famous painter, was a chain smoker, and he had a collection of Dupont, and he was even doing some drawings on his own Dupont. So we kept a very good relationship with the family of Picasso, and we re-edit sometimes some of the original drawings. So I think there is a link, and that's why we did a couple of Picasso collections. We did a Warhol collection, and we keep doing also. I mean, we were partners with James Bond. I mean, in some of the James Bond movies, they had a spinner.
I remember those.
With a golden gun.
Yeah.
He's building his gun with a lighter and a pen, okay? And now we are also doing something with Warner Bros, with Game of Thrones. So for example, that's the same thing. We love to work with arts and entertainment and cigars. Right. And these are the three pillars around which everything revolves.
Yeah, it's so cool to see. I get excited to come to this booth every year because I'm like, I never know what they're gonna have.
We don't know either.
It's always a fun surprise.
I mean, we are quite creative, and this year, I mean, I have a small team, and we go around the world and we talk to customers because we take our inspiration always from customers, people like you, and some people who own lounges, and we go there and then we listen to people saying, hey, did you think about improving this or changing that? And we try to do that regularly because I think that's where we can really improve the quality of the product.
Yeah, and it's special that you guys do what you do it well. You make it look easy. I know it's not, and you have passion for it. So, as someone who enjoys the products, thank you, because
thank you very much. I know for working together, and it's always a pleasure to have this type of chat, informal discussion about connoisseurs and enjoying the good times, the good life. I mean, it's not just for me that's a real luxury, which is like beautiful moments with beautiful people. That's what it is, and of course, attention to detail and perfection, in the craftsmanship, and we have 151 years behind us spanning 3 centuries to really keep, carrying the flame. Yeah,
absolutely. I know, I agree, and you're right. It's about the people and the good times and getting together and having the conversations. And I appreciate you being here with me today. This was a great conversation, and I love. Thank you for having me in the booth, and thank you for your time today and talking about the brand, because the brand is so special. And to hear you talk about it is awesome. So
thank you very much, Matthew. Real pleasure.
I appreciate it, guys. Guys, thanks for checking out all of our coverage at the SC Dupont booth here at PCA 2024. Don't forget to stay tuned for more coverage brought to you by Drew Estate. Take care.